Right, the next item on the agenda is the travel and support of council international relations. Duncan. So I will move the recommendation. Do I have a seconder for it? Tim Scandrett. So, Duncan, could you begin with just a bit of an overview of the international relations policy adopted last year in relation to timetabling visits to our sister cities and what they mean?
Yes, ma'am. When a paper came to the previous council requesting authorisation for the Mayor to visit sister cities, the council resolved at that time to conduct a review on the international relations policy. A council working group was set up, which included community participation, and over a period of months came up with a recommendation to with a new or revised policy, which was a resolution by the previous council in their last council meeting to adopt that policy. Now, one of the key items in that policy was to authorise the Mayor and appropriate elected members to travel to visit our sister cities once per triennial term. And also directed the Civic and International Relations Department to present a report to the Council early on in the term. Admittedly that we are now no longer earlier on in the term, but earlier on in the term that puts out the plan over the period so that we can get on and arrange delegations and what have you, rather than doing it piecemeal, which makes the ability to organise a delegation to go with the Mayor on these visits more difficult.
Excellent. Do people have questions? Phil?
Thank you for the report, Duncan. I'm just wondering, do you think, I'm just wondering in your opinion, if particularly post-earthquake recovery-wise, if the intercity relationships are perhaps more important than before? And I guess I'm going back to the amazing assistance that we received as a city at the time of the earthquakes.
Thanks, Councillor Clearwater. Yes, it's been my experience that I guess it's commonly misunderstood in the community what the sister city relationships are about. And in response to the earthquakes, all our sister cities, including some of the further afield ones, such as Christchurch in the UK, did provide assistance to Christchurch in one form or another. Now that we are sort of through that phase and in the rebuild phase, what we can get from many of our sister cities is actually best practice lessons that they have learnt, not necessarily recovering from a disaster situation, but in urban regeneration or what have you. And a specific example of that could be in Seattle.
Are there any other questions? Pauline?
It might seem a silly one, but in the recommendation, would this be a compulsory thing to do, or is it up to the Mayor's discretion on which trips she partakes of?
Thanks, Councillor Cotter. I think that's actually a very good question, in so much as it is discretionary. By coming to the Council now and getting a resolution to approve the Mayor and appropriate elected members to travel to these, that means that we can go ahead and plan. Now, in the event that it is inconvenient or it's considered not necessary, we run out of time, it doesn't mean that in the last year we've got to fit in leftover visits and have a jolly old spend up to do it. So no, it is discretionary.
Yanni?
Can I just ask what the rationale is for in 2014 going to visit China? I understand, Adelaide, there hasn't been a visit since 2007, and I understand the UK is being added on to a different event, but it's being done at the same time. But given that there was just a mayoral visit, civic delegation to China last year, why is it important to do one again this year?
China is the jewel in the crown of the sister city relationships when it comes to the economic development side of the house. Where possible, we've tried to link visits to anniversaries or significant events, and in this case there is an anniversary with Gansu province, and we are expecting a citizens delegation led by the Vice Governor to come this way. Heading to China in September 1, there is a period of time in the Mayor's schedule that we can devote a 2-week period to this, and our intention would be to build a delegation around that, and that would go, whilst we're in China, to other areas of interest such as Guangzhou, Beijing and Shanghai.
Just a second question is, is there a report from those previous visits, and how can we tell what the benefits are of these trips? What's the reporting back mechanism going forward, but also is there reports from the previous visits from last year that we can look at to see what the benefits have been?
A report was completed from last year's visits, and working through the follow-up to those reports is often the case of the specific agency involved. Now with China, that really falls to Christchurch educated, the University of Canterbury, Lincoln University and CDC, who are the ones who really would feel the benefit from that visit specifically.
So we can get a report on those visits and what the outcomes have been?
Yes.
And who's following up what?
Yes.
That's not a problem. Okay, great.
Any more questions? Any debate? I'll put the question. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. Thank you.